Hey guys, and welcome back to Mike Reed's Katawa Shoujo. We did things with Kenji in the shower last episode, so we're gonna do things with girls today in the classroom. The festival is coming up in 3 days, right? Every other class has already handed in their the projected budget reports for the event. Even the first year, except you. Laughter. There's still some time to hand it in, isn't there? Dots. Angry dots. Today! The deadline's today! You certainly take your time, aren't you? Or you're certainly taking your time, aren't you? If I had it my way, I'd have had all the necessary paperwork days ago. But someone had to say the deadline, please extend it. Yes, that was me. Planning something on this scale is not a small task, and a week is too small time to expect the whole class to work out such a complex issue completely. For Loring dots. Do you want to know what's harder than distributing the funds for one class event? Handling the same matter for every class in the school and then some. The one who does that is me. Misha puts her hand on her lips and stands up straight. Wow, she's really getting into the role. Lily doesn't look like she's very amused, though. Hey, Shizune, aren't you being a little too hard on her? There's still a whole day left. Please, Hisao, it's alright. Lily seems happy I'm taking her side, but a bit conflicted that I might not think she can take care of herself. If this is about the budget, then I'm disappointed you think I have forgotten about it. I understand how important it is. Dots. And can I have it, please? Shizune, she may not have it on her at this exact second. It's not here right now. I asked 2 students to take care of it for me. Students from my class. She emphasizes the last sentence, much to my surprise. She knows about Shizune and Misha's effort to rope me into the student council. I guess word must have gotten around, so now she's using me as ammo against Shizune. This just gets better and better. Angry dots. It was your responsibility! A budget report isn't something you should just delegate, or you should just be delegating away. As class rep, it's your job to be on top of things. This kind of disregard for proper procedure is really just terrible. They completed it, being capable of doing so, but the students have been sick recently, so they could not come to school and give it back to me. If you want, I will apologize on their behalf for getting sick. Okay. Although Misha misses Lily's little jab entirely, Shizune doesn't, and she seems torn between being offended by Lily's daring and jumping for joy at the prospect of the challenge. Ugh. Frustrated dots. Lily, don't they live here at the school? That's a 5-minute walk, you know. What could they possibly have that prevents them from taking 5 minutes out of their busy lives to drop off something that will affect the enjoyment of their entire class? Lily opens her mouth to say something, but Shizune closes the gap between them and starts signing furiously, waving her hands around like an orchestra conductor. Misha tries her best to convey the same passion, but can't seem to lose her normal cheerful tone. The result is interesting and somewhat surreal. Disappointed dots. And what's with that attitude? I said that it's not something you should be delegating away. Are you the class representative or aren't you? Tell me the names of those 2 students. They should have your job, if you can't even handle something this simple yourself. One form isn't the full extent of what I was supposed to take care of. Lily's tone is growing slightly impatient, but she is doing a good job of not letting Shizune see how unsettled she's becoming. She's playing her cards close to her chest. Shizune, on the other hand, wraps her fingers cheerfully along the edge of her glasses, knowing Lily can neither hear nor see how excited she is. Dots. Of course, you do so much, class rep. It must be so difficult being you. Lily tightens her lips at Misha's words, clearly understanding the intent behind them, even though Misha delivers them without even a hint of sarcasm, which they were meant to have. Shizune and Lily don't like each other. That much is clear. But this seems a little much. It seems like Lily has had enough and is ready to push back. Oh, look, an actual animation. I was actually just discussing the budget report before you came by. You must be very talented to have finished all your student council duties so quickly that you can track me down to make sure I don't forget my own. Are you accusing me of slacking off? It seems like you're confusing me with yourself. I don't think so. That would be a very difficult thing for me to do, comparing myself to you. You're right. The difference between us is like heaven and hell. And it's not hard to guess which one you might represent. Shit's getting dramatic, and that's a panty shot. The air between them ripples with the heart of the enmity. Let's try that again. The air between them ripples with the heat of their enmity. Well, not really. They can't disguise it anymore, though. Even Misha looks like she's beginning to understand the real nature of this conversation. Dots. Heek-chan, don't you slack off either. What are you talking about? Dots. Aren't you taking part in the festival, Heek-chan? You are, aren't you? Man, I hope you're going to do a lot more to make sure it goes smoothly than this person. I don't understand. She's only suddenly getting mad at me. So don't drag me into this. I've done my part, or hey, come on, cut me and Lily some slack. Yeah, cut me and Lily slack. I'm new here, and she's... I don't know. Hey, I'm the new guy, remember? It's not like I could have done much even if I wanted. That's right, you shouldn't expect a transfer student to jump right into it in his first week. Lily taking my side feels oddly comforting, so I decide to back her up too. Hey, you're being unreasonable with both of us. Frustrated Dots. Excuses, excuses. Miss Class Rep has had plenty of time to deal with her report. And we repeatedly offered you a position to help with the student council work, but you refused to commit yourself to making the festival a success. Yeah, but as I said back then, I'm not sure if... I don't have time for this right now. No matter what I do, it will mean being drawn into a confrontation with Shizune, and that is what she wants. Whatever, forget it. I turn my back at them. I get back to my seat and shut my ears from the finale of the argument between Lily and Shizune. Eventually, Lily leaves our classroom, and Shizune and Misha seat themselves without it talking to me. I can feel Shizune's eyes burning into my back. She's probably angry at me, but I'm just as angry with her. I don't get why she had to drag me into the argument. Hanako doesn't come to the morning class at all, leaving her seat looking empty and lonely in the back of the classroom. I have to tell her that Lily was looking for her if I see her later. After the events of this morning, class is pretty boring in comparison. I turn the pages of my textbook lazily. I have a bit of catching up to do, despite trying to keep up with my studies at the hospital, but I'm not feeling that enthusiastic about it. The clock at the front of the room sounds unbearably loud. The teacher hasn't said anything in over 7 minutes, instead of opting to cover the board in rows and rows of equations taken directly from the book. The rhythmic clashing of chalk on the blackboard seems to synchronize perfectly with the ticking of the clock. I start to copy down the equations just to pass the time, even though they are right there in the textbook. When the bell rings, I'm not in a hurry because I have nothing to do. So I stay for a while, reviewing what we covered in class today. I prefer to leave last anyway, so I don't have to deal with the crowding in the hallways. I notice Shizune and Misha have also stayed behind, talking to some from another class. Shizune is signing so fast that her hands make noises like swords cutting through the air. Maybe there's a pent-up anger in there. Misha is trying desperately to keep up, but it's clear she can barely manage to even understand her. I put my head down. Whatever they're discussing, it looks like serious business. Shizune signs to the point where her wrists crackle, and Misha suggests to spit out in words form. Sometimes she trips over herself like she's dealing with her tongue twisters, and then on top of that, she has to sign back anything the other girl says. Seems like a rough job. Misha looks tired, like she's about to faint. Luckily for her, their business is soon finished and the girls sit down on their seats again. I'm so tired. She's hanging her head limply on the desk looking exhausted. I'll use the opportunity to reconcile with Shizune a bit, without getting roped into the student council thing again, though I suspect that door is now closed for me. Festival preparations must be tough for you. Indeed, the people in the school seem to be taking the festival very seriously. Whenever I see people idling around before and after classes, they're always talking about their plans for it. It's kinda neat to see everyone being so enthusiastic about it. I'm probably the only one who doesn't have something to do. Shizune scoffs at me at first, as if trying to decide whether to ignore or sneer at me, but in the end she starts signing without doing either. Misha perks up, looking at her hands with slightly unfocused eyes. Dots. She signs with harsh, heavy, dramatic strokes. Misha translates her signing into speech for me. She does it so well, it's almost like Shizune is actually speaking, transmitting her thoughts directly through Misha. She must have practiced it vigorously. Well, of course we're in student council, you know, so we're pretty busy. Dots. It's an important duty of ours to ensure the success of our festival with all our strength. Dots. We would shame ourselves in front of the past student council generations if the festival were to fail. Dots. That's why there must be no flaws. I think that was encumbrances. No, nothing that might make the festival short of perfect. Shizune's passionate speech for me and Misha enacting are really oddly fitting for them. Oh, hello? I look over my shoulder and see Hanako peering timidly into the classroom, most of her body hidden behind the door. Hey, playing delinquent again? Hanako blushes hard at Misha's straightforward jab, even if it was only in jest. Dots. Shizune stares at her probingly, causing Hanako to look down and start backing away to the point where only her fingers can be seen wrapped nervously around the edge of the door. Maybe she is showing her dislike of Hanako by association of her dislike of Lily. It appears so, and Hanako probably knows it as well. What is it, Hanako? Has Lily been here? Sorry, haven't seen Satao. She, came by in the morning, though. Hanako keeps looking uneasily at Shizune, who stares back at her with her usual studying gaze. What is she trying to do? Of course Shizune isn't going to look away, and she is intimidating enough as it is, so I can only imagine how terrified Hanako would be. It is a little uncomfortable watching Hanako's reaction to Shizune's normal behavior. This is what happens when two people of two different extremes meet, it seems. Do you know where she is? Dots. If she has any sense in her head, she's in her classroom, working on their festival project, but who knows where that woman is, loitering at. Hanako nods quickly and retreats with haste. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, we were really working hard to make the festival happen, and driving other people insane along the way. Well, good luck with that. I stand up leaving, making my exit before either of them manages to berate me anymore for slacking off. This is pretty much as good a spot as any to call it an episode for now. So, have a good day. Hope you enjoyed, and